Welcome to the Mailbag previous show looking at All-Star Mile Day at Flemington. We're not going to talk about the Golden Slipper in Sydney because we don't care about Sydney races and we leave that to victims of the punt. Well, I don't. Pete does. He hosts that show too. Full credit to you for doing that, Pete. That show, which will preview the Golden Slipper with Mark Sheen, Mark Roden and Pistol Pete. And our show is powered by puntingform.com.au. It's a sectional database we all use. I've been winning for 5 years. I've been winning more since I really honed in and understood how to use it. You will too. The sooner you jump, the sooner you'll start winning. Pete, it's a gloomy little week upon us in Melbourne, but as we know, Flemington, it needs to cop an absolute deluge. The tap needs to be left on overnight for it to be a major concern. We can look to score runs quickly, bet big, bet with confidence. It's been a very, very fruitful couple of weeks at headquarters for the team. Slightly more fruitful for me versus you in our suit challenge, where I am currently about 3,500 in front of you, top of my head, thanks to hitting all three legs last week. To your credit and full credit, you hit Duas.
Doesn't mean anything.
Flying mascot. So I spent a little bit of time last night Googling just like some images, MJ Bale stuff. Still haven't reached out. Won't be Peter Jackson, but if MJ Bale or anyone else wants to reach out, let us know. The suit challenge bets will come at the conclusion of the show with our best bets. Peter, where do you want to start? And firstly, how are you feeling? There's a little bit of a cloud upon you.
There is a cloud, but no, I'm looking forward to, just timing my run to perfection. There might have been a few rumours about my inclusion or exclusion for the weekend. I believe the team sheet might have been leaked to one journalist, and I'm sure the captain will have something to say about that at a press conference after the fact. But holy fuck, what was with Bevo last night? Wasn't that incredible? That was the funniest thing I've ever seen. That guy, after having his pre-season launch where he's coming off the long run and explaining how they're going to be revolutionaries like Che Guevara, he's suddenly turning on Tom Morris like he's done something, killed one of his children or something like that. It was just incredible. The man is a psychopath. It's brilliant.
It's scary though that it's a highlight, like the racing industry, how far and how deep he is inside the bubble and how much bubble bath water he guzzles, clearly. Yeah. But at the same and absolute psychopath and incredibly successful.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? The best part is he's just sitting there with the handlebars as well. It's strong behaviour there from Luke Beveridge.
Has there been a normal human being that's had success at AFL level? Paul Roos, I reckon, is half normal.
Well, the Derby trainer also managed to coach 2 premierships.
Fuck you, Peter. Let's talk about the races. And luckily, it's a big day at Flemington. So apart from that one day that will ever be written in history in my brain, it's a big day at Flemington. So Dennis doesn't have a horse running.
No. Race 2. Should we start with race 2? Actually, let's start with the All-Star Mile because it's the headline. But
big headliner, Peter. Yeah. It's a big race. It's a glorious race. Full credit to Racing Victoria. They've not tried to force it. A little bit like the Everest is fantastic up in Sydney, but the Screaming Eagle and the Coogee and the Bondi and the Midway and he's just shooting from way beyond the arc PBL, and he's 1 from 6.
The Invitation.
And everyone's frothing on the one. The Invitation, yeah.
That's my
favourite. Remember Kubrick won a race, the Bondi? Yeah.
How is Kubrick? Okay.
In Queensland. Still going around.
5 million smackaroonies All-Star Millet. Zaki favourite, $3.40, $6 to $6.50 for Inspirational Girl. Pinstriped, I'm Thunderstruck, $13 to Farnay. Lightsaber next at 16, upwards to the rest. What's your starting point here?
Starting point, the way we price is that Zaki's favourite. I've got it about 280, 290. I've got I'm Thunderstruck about 520, and Inspirational Girl around $5.50, $6. I don't like Inspirational Girl at that price. I think she was completely and utterly blessed last start with the weight swing.
Yep.
I think she's a knock, simply. I think Zaki has huge map problems here. Was coffined in a very slow race last start at Flemington. Didn't lead. and now everyone's just assuming from 15 she's going to burn across. The 600-metre start at Flemington, you need to sort of make some decisions. It's not 400 metre sort of pressure, but it's 600 metres. Is still you need to make decisions. Lightsaber's faster than Zaki. Streets of Avalon's faster than Zaki. Tefane's faster than Zaki. Mr. Brightside can hold a position. Luna Fox has to make a decision. Does Sierra Sue want to go back and try and run home quicker than Ice Bath, Pinstripe, Inspirational Girl, and I'm Thunderstruck? I'd suggest that you don't. They probably will, but I wouldn't. I think there's going to be a bit of tempo and a bit of like energy early.
I think there
when
has to be.
I'm saying faster than Zaki, I'm talking about in the first 200 or 300 metres.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to lead this race will be dug up. So she's going to have to either dig hard and cross, and then she's going to drop anchor, which will suit the 2 and 3 wide horses who can build momentum. Or she's going to snick, and she's going to be 3 wide, 4 wide, potentially without cover. So I think that's enough grey, as you can tell in my brain, to avoid Zaki at this stage. I think Mr. Brightside's the map horse. If you want to bet now, it's the safest bet each way. Race 6, number 8, Mr. Brightside. I think Inspirational Girl's flying, but just there's a few negatives the way that I read races. Pinstripe's airborne and is going to get a really good run, I think, from 8. I'm Thunderstruck is dry inside draw. If you want to back it and you want to have $200 on, I'd have $100 on now at the $6, and then I'd wait and just cop $4 if it steams, or you might get $8 or $9 late, depending how this track's racing. I think your favourite to get a little bit better, but how would you know? It's going to be like hard in mouth stuff with that horse, or it's going to have to be just the best horse. He's going to have to slow down, go out the back and ride around them, or he's going to ride for luck up the guts. And he's a 33% chance or smaller to get all the momentum riding up the guts. We saw him just barge out in the Group 1 that he did win, but he didn't barge out in the previous run. So
it just looks nasty,
basically,
though,
I've got no
doesn't it?
fucking ideas. So summation of that. You, Peter?
Oh, look, I just have to view Gate 1 for Thunderstruck as a negative. Plus, I saw that jump out that he had at Sandown. He's getting very, very hot and sweaty, and he didn't parade outstanding last start either.
He is the horse that... Here's how grey I am, and like head noised. He is the horse here that's parading like he's going to peak.
Yeah.
Whereas even Mr. Brightside, particularly Zaki, Lightsaber, they've been up forever. Pinstripe's been up forever. Pinstripe's prep started at Moe. But I think Mick Price is a gun 2-year-old trainer, and then he just falls away. This is still okay, but like the older and longer they get, the less deadly he is. That gets into my head a little bit.
I just think it looks short enough. I think Pinstripe looks like the real hole in the market here. I think that's a real flashing light after last start. I'm still not convinced he actually gets that close to any of the others that finished further in front of it, like Hatotsu and Lightsaber on that occasion. And it's still, like the figures before that, it's having to jump up a fair amount at a time, which is a knock for me. I actually am going to stick with Inspirational Girl here. I think from Gate 4, Damien Lane actually doesn't have to do very much. He just has to jump at the same time as I'm Thunderstruck, and he'll be on the outside of it, because Streets of Avalon and Mr. Brightside will just kick up. So he shouldn't have too much trouble staying off the fence here. And I think it is just going to be pure tempo up front. Like Call Sign Mav, as you said, that's probably the other one that can just like jiggerize like half the field early. They may very well find a rhythm, but for how long?
Well, Call Sign Mav
was really good.
It has to just go, doesn't it? It has to go forward.
Yeah.
It's not going to like have a bigger turn of foot than these.
Yeah.
It's a grand final race. It's coming out of the Duas race last week. J Mott, Ben Allen, big switch. I think it has to go forward. Another horse, if you want to talk about grey, and this really confuses me. Big SP profile operators, we all are at the mailbag. Not massive, but we respect it. There's a horse here, number 10, Tefane, who's been there or thereabouts in pretty good form races so far this prep. So they ran third, beaten. Where's the margins, Peter? 2.1 lengths behind Sierra Sue. Mr. Mozart's come out and run at the same sort of number. Turreth came out and ran still the same sort of number last week. Mr. Mozart won. Mwanga's fucking airborne. I'm Thunderstruck ran 5th. And Tefane seems a very big price here. So at SP last start, it was a $2.30 favourite versus I'm Thunderstruck $5.50. Now you're getting $5.50 Thunderstruck and you're getting $15 Tofano. If you go back a little bit further, Peter, Willow Road, J-Mod's a knock. No offence, Jamie, but this is big time Flemington, and the stats aren't great. But 3 starts ago in the Empire Rose, the Group 1 Fillies and Mares race over the mile, this horse started $2.90 favourite.
Yep.
Travelled like it was going to win and just stopped at the death. It confuses me. You could go back a little bit further and say that I'm Thunderstruck SP 480. SP 320 versus Tofane, $11 in the 2 rack, which is a mile handicap.
That's it.
So it's just angles. Fucking angles everywhere. That's what I'm trying to say.
All right. So
I think Tofane and Mr. Brightside, 2 horses that if I had to bet now, which I don't, I'm not gonna, but if I had to, they're the 2 horses that I'm comfortable having small tickets on. They're going to map really well, and they're horses that have enough ticks for me at those prices. Yeah.
And I'll lean Inspirational Girl, but again, I don't think this is a race where you necessarily have to bet early. I think there's plenty of information to get on the day there. So, but $6, I've got her marked around the 440 mark.
Nice.
All right, let's jump back to race 2 because I think we've both got an opinion in this race, or at least I found a bet, and I know you found a bet. Down the straight, 1,000 metre.
So straight racing, I want to find horses that like going down the straight. Ideally, I'd like to see horses that have won or run really big figures over 1,000 metres. I've landed... Well, there's a couple of horses that stand out. So there's Sword of Mercy, who's a proper horse.
Yep.
Zorro's Dream, it's a line chaser. He goes very, very good, but doesn't always win. Lombardo is a pretty nice horse with a deadly SP. It SP'd $6 in the Ladbrokes Manicato, a Group 1 over 1,200 metres. That's some form. But it's had 2 goes track for nothing. I've landed with number 1, Express Pass, whose track and trip distance stats is 4 starts for a win, a second and a third. Its distance stats are solid. Its track stats are solid. I loved the run behind Miakovic. I think Nick Grind's absolutely fucking airborne. Back to the home track. Miakovic won that race sitting on the speed. This horse came from back, which is never suited. It's not going to be suited here probably again, but it's a smaller field and you can settle a little bit closer, I think. I think there's tempo here with Fine Dane, King of Hastings, Serious Suspect, Grand Avenue, even Lombardo. I think they tick along. I think Barra 7's perfect for race. I think this is a pretty easy bet to have. That's race 2, number 1, Express Pass. You, Peter?
I'm exactly the same. I've got it marked 480. Look, Lombardo is probably a scary horse in this field. I've gone back and watched his replays down the straight. I'm not totally convinced he's a pure straight horse, but I wouldn't necessarily pen him for those either. Has the good first up stat from last week, from last prep as well. So that's probably the main danger for me. But you know, a lot of these other horses are probably around their right mark. I agree with what you said. Zorro's Dream, Sort of Mercy, they've both got chances. But again, the market already knows that. So you know, the one edge there at the moment is Express Pass.
Yeah, we just took 650. It's in the 550 now. Just as before we recorded, we backed it and we sent it. I've got Express Pass $4 and I've got Lombardo 380. So I still think Lombardo's the most likely winner of the race, but I think comfortably Express Pass is the bet. I expect Lombardo drifts slightly, but a big mounting yard watch, Peter. We will be on track. Speaking of mounting yard mail, Peter, myself, you, Jacko, 3 sets of eyes on ponies. Themailbag.com.au. Buy the grouse. It's 30% off this weekend. We'll also be on track with a bunch of clients, punters, team members, TB in the members. Intern Freddie down from Brizzy with his mates. It's going to be a big day at Flemington. We've moved the function because Elephant got scratched, and we might kick on to that. I know Ross has got one run around in Melton in a Group 1, I think, too. So it could be one of the great days. We've had 2 of the biggest days ever, just about, last 2 Saturdays at Flemington. So may God, Jesus, Harry Potter, Bilbo Baggins, Mary Poppins, Squirtle, please, just let it keep on raining. Let it keep on raining that cash. It's going to be a glorious day. If you're out there, come and say good day. As always, after the lot. So Saturday a little bit earlier, so to race 6 onwards. Happy to have a beer if you want to buy us a beer. And from race 1 all the way through, if you're at the back of the members and you want to throw me a cheeky dart, I will not say no. Peter, where's the next race we're going to talk about, my man?
Let's finish off with race 8, the 2,000 metre race. The Regal Power, as it's known. I like that.
Time honoured.
Exactly, the Regal Power, time honoured indeed. Still finding Group 1s. Emissary's favourite at $3.50. You've got $5 Desert Icon, Defibrillate, $7 best available. Grand Slam $8.50. Criminal Code is $12.
Criminal Code, I think we backed or wanted to back last start. Pondus, very hard horse to catch. Panso, Secret Blaze, hard to catch. Wentwood seems a decent price to me. Defibrillate's 1 from 2 track and trip. It's two wins, 2 seconds from 5 starts at the track. He's certainly the horse, and he's 3 from 5 at the trip. So he's the horse that sort of stands out to me as fucking they're going to find it and they're going to want to back it. I can't help but just have a big little steam into number 11, Emissary. Barrier 9, John McNeil's a concern. I prefer Jai inside draws. Jai and Johnny are like Yao and Yang, Yin and Yo. What is it?
Yin and Yang.
Yin and Yang, inside, outside draws. Yeah.
I've bagged Luke Beveridge earlier for going on about Shea Guevara, and here you are. Anyway.
Well, my point is, and I fucking should have listened to myself last race yesterday, although I won't say that because you'll have to edit that out. Anyway, John inside draws is a negative. It still is. He just rode 2 very good horses, Yonts and Hatotsu from inside draws, where the rails and runners was blessed at Flemington the other week. Otherwise, that's a bad setup. John McNeil outside draws is a chink, but it's not no bet stuff. I love this horse here, don't you?
Not quite. I've got a bit of just a concern about that last start form. That race that Cascadian won, there's been a few runners that have come out of it and they've all done basically nothing so far. In terms of placings, they've all run okay figures, but because it was such a slow race, 17 lengths or so below the class benchmark, I just don't think that's a great conditioning race for a lot of these horses then stepping up in journey. I would have preferred a fast run race, so I actually would lean to defib at this stage, but it's not really a race that I could get my head around. I couldn't really find a massive angle for it. I'm probably going to stay out here.
Oh, this is oh no. Look, I think that race is actually good. I don't think this horse was suited. It was wide in the... This is an open handicap. It drops back from a Group 2. Yeah. A lot of those horses that you're talking about, like Cascadian, went to a Group 1 Australian Cup, So they're going to run a big figure, yeah, but they're also probably not going to win it. So they went to horses that ran in the Melbourne Cup, whereas these are horses that are going to run in the Bendigo Cup. I think I'm happy to trust the form enough. He looks to me favourite to bounce back to like a 12-point something figure, which is like the theme from that race and what he did in the previous start. I don't like Zara off. I hate it actually, but what can I do about that? I just adjusted my price slightly and it's still a big bet for me. So I'm keen on race 8, number 11, Emissary.
Yeah, I'm also interested to see what Pondus does this start. I think that was
seems a big price, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's the one, like, if there's going to be a blowout, it's one of those ones you just have to probably throw in the quaddy. I know it's yet to really stamp itself in Australia, hasn't won a race, hasn't even placed, but that did look more promising than what we've seen previously. Nice splits going through the line, unsuitable tempo, all that sort of stuff.
I just think this is half, like... Sort of one of my theories at the moment is these staying races, they're just numbers. They're just all turn takers. They're turn takers.
Yeah.
But Emissary and Pondus particularly... Desert Icon, I think we've seen what it's got. An English King's sort of done nothing. Emissary and Pondus are like, this is its 6th and 7th start. So they haven't paid their membership up in starts yet to the Turn Takers Club, that is Australian Staying Ranks. So I'm happy to sort of have a little wager on one of these scopy stayers imported.
Very good.
Guys, I hope you have a fantastic weekend gambling all across the country. We've got content galore. Head to the mailbag.com.au. There's a lot of free stuff now. The interns are airborne. But if you want to bet accountably and you want to be favourite to win, download the app and head to the mailbag.com.au. We've got Mounting Our Mail, Melbourne, Sydney, race by race in Perth on Saturday via Pistol. We've got endless amount of betting. There's probably a three-track bonanza in Queensland via Shane Curlio. Prices and everything in Sydney via road. And if you want to bet and win, the mailbag.com.au. Have a fantastic weekend. Thank you very much, Peter. You were very good this morning. Bye for now.